Hi, I wanted to first of all say thank you to all of my new subscribers, and it seems like a lot of people are starting to watch. It's still a small number, but I see that, something's good happening. And so I'm grateful, and I just wanted to personally say thank you to people who are looking at my video. Do leave me a comment, and please be kind, because if you're not and you're a little nasty, I'll probably delete or block you. But if you sincerely have a question and you really want to know some things about what it is I'm talking about, or maybe you just want to sharpen iron with iron in a Christian loving manner, then of course I will answer you the best that I possibly can with prayer. Because, this is our souls that we're talking about here, and I want to make sure that I say the things that the Lord wants me to say. So I wanted to thank personally from there was a Tom Horn video that I made a comment about, that I was not pleased about his comment about homosexuality. And so, of course, I've got some comments, and I got some nasty ones and some that were not so bad, and I tried to answer them to the best of my ability and effort. And so then I got a really nice response from a subscriber who sent me the Evangelicals Concerned Inc. And of course it has clobber passages in there that have been talked about and pretty much debunked. If you are, and those of you who have a problem, I think that what I'm going to read to you today will hopefully help you see that Jesus in his time and what is going on today really has to do with what this particular article is about. And it's entitled God's Revolution and Reign. And so I wanted to go over that with you. And I'm just saying hi to my partner here in sign language in case you were wondering. Mark 2:16 through 17, 21 and 22, and Luke 5:36 through 39. Let's hear God's words. When the scribes of the Pharisees saw Jesus eating with tax collectors and sinners, they said to his disciples, "Why is he eating and drinking with tax collectors and sinners?" Right? So this particular author his name is Bock, B-O-C-K. Let me see if it has the name of him down here somewhere. I thought his name was Bock. I could be wrong. Well, as I read along, maybe it will tell me again. But sinners was a catch-all term for all Jews who didn't follow the dictates of the scribes of the Pharisees. The tax collectors were lumped in with these other sinners for reasons we've mentioned, and were seen as traitorous thieves who did the pagans' bidding. Scribes and Pharisees and Sadducees had not fared well in the direct debate with Jesus, so here their attack is indirect. They try again to stump his disciples, and they didn't want their gotcha questions to trigger any more gotcha answers. And so, of course, there wasn't a question. It was yet another accusation meant to entrap Jesus, but they were more insistent on being right than sure that they were right. The self-righteous didn't really believe they're righteous, and although they're blessed with an uneasy suspicion of their unrighteousness, they nonetheless suppress it and insist on their righteousness. So they do all of this with such little tactical caution that their malicious maneuver malfunctions. So Jesus overhears them, and he says to them, people who are healthy don't need a physician. The unhealthy need a physician, and I have come to call sinners. I have come to call sinners, not those who are well, quote unquote. So foiled again, still at God's deeper level of mercy, really. they were given yet another opportunity to find the truth, even in the foiling. So Jesus confronts their effrontery with a parabolic deflection, appropriating their own self-serving discriminations and inviting their reflection. He says he came to heal all who admit to a need for healing, but has nothing for those who don't admit such a need. And Jesus knew that it was useless to more frontally attack their self-righteous defensiveness. And so he took a roundabout way to offer them a reality check. Still, for the publicly pious who'd posture righteousness for so long, there was too huge a stake in keeping up appearances. They would not admit to any lack in their religiosity. They're just all about the law. They had the law down pat, and boy, and they just lorded over everyone back then. And if you didn't, adhere, boy, you were terrible. And they made it be known. They were just awful about that. And so Jesus knew that it was useless. And then that also reminds me too that I need to be also more loving and more maybe go a roundabout way of offering this new information. Okay, so Jesus knew that it was useless to be, frontally attack their self-righteous defensiveness, and so he took a roundabout way to offer them a reality check. Still, for the publicity pious who postured righteousness for so long, there was too huge a stake in keeping up appearances. They would not admit to any lack in their religiosity. So Jesus goes on to frame his point in a further parable. He says, "No one puts a patch on unshrunken cloth, an old garment. Otherwise, the new piece will pull away from the old, making the tear worse. And no one pours new wine into old wineskins, otherwise the wine will burst the skins, and both the wine and the wineskins will be ruined. People pour new wine into new wineskins, yet those who prefer the old wine refuse even to taste the new wine, insisting that old is good." And so this article goes on, and I'll stop there because I don't have a lot of time on my video. But you can read it for yourself under www.evangelicals Concerned Inc. and then look for the title God's Revolution and Reign. And what I wanted to say about it is that this new information that I have on Unix, and that keeps coming out daily in regards to today's LGBT person, we have plenty without that information as Christians, to be loving and accepting of the LGBT person who is seeking God. Okay, God calls us to him. It's not the other way around. And so if gay people are seeking him and seeking him out, the Lord says, "I will reveal myself to you." And we as Christians need to be loving and supportive and embracing and bringing them into the church and letting the Lord do his work. Okay, and what it seems to be is that as the article goes on to say, is this old-time religion. Give me that old-time religion, like the song goes. But we forget about Jesus. We forget about, is he null and void? No, he's the one that is the whole purpose of this. Okay, we need to follow what Jesus says. Love God with all your heart, mind, and strength. Love your neighbor as yourself. And then furthermore, he says, love each other as I have loved you. Okay, that's what's really important here, is because we serve a God that's a loving God, a triune. It's all about love. And so we need to be loving towards each other, not evil and hateful and hurtful or any of those things. That's not necessary. Unless, you're the one that's got the problem, and then therefore you're the one that's hateful and saying hateful things. Agreed. So if we're talking to each other as loving Christian brothers and sisters, even if you think I'm wrong, the best way to get around that is to be loving and open, because here you have old wine and you're stuck like a Pharisee or a Sadducee in the, protecting the law and not really listening to the prophets or the the Psalms or the or Moses and all of the signs that pointed to the fact that the Messiah was standing right in front of them and they didn't recognize him. Okay, and so we as Christians have to be accepting of, this is a whole new culture, a whole new world, and it's much different than it was back in the ancient days. We don't see marriage the same way anymore. There's so many things that we see differently. And if you really do take a look at yourself and what today's Christian does as opposed to yesterday's Christian, we don't do the same things. We are much different today than we were back then. Does what Jesus say still apply? Yes. And many Christians are still stuck in the old, thinking, and yet even Christ himself is the new covenant. Christ himself is the new way, and we need to follow what Christ has to say to us. And so that's really my point here. But this article points beyond itself into a very deeper, disturbing truth. It's a simple story, and yet it's not easily grasped, okay? And so I would urge you to take a look at the article when you've got time and read it, especially my gay friends, so that you have something to arm yourself with as well when unknowing, naive Christians try to attack you for being of the LGBT community, but yet you want to serve God and you want to be loving him as much as he loves you. So I just wanted to share that with you. By the way, folks, I'm on vacation, so you won't be getting a whole lot of videos from me, but this was something I felt the need to share with you during the middle of my vacation time. And so anyway, love you all, and please do leave a nice comment, thumbs up if you like the video. Okay, bye-bye.